Ladies and gentlemen, there is a kind of danger that wears a smile, a danger that doesn't shout, it whispers, that doesn't strike, it soothes. And if you're not careful, it will sit beside you, flatter you, and ruin you, all while looking like a friend. The most dangerous kind of person is always nice. You heard me? Let it echo. The most dangerous kind of person is always nice. Not kind, not compassionate. Just nice, polite, pleasant, harmless looking. But behind that mask, a void, a darkness, a hunger to control, to manipulate, to survive off your trust, and leave you wondering if it was ever real. They never raise their voice. They never say an ugly word, but they will watch you drown with a soft smile on their lips. Because you see, cruelty doesn't always roar. Sometimes it wears cologne and compliments. You've met them before. The co-worker who never says anything directly, but always manages to make you feel small. The friend who smiles in every photo, but somehow leaves you feeling like a burden when you call. They're the first to offer help when it's public. They're the first to say, "I'm here for you," when there's an audience. But behind closed doors, silence, absence, or worse, subtle sabotage wrapped in a velvet glove. Niceness is not kindness. Kindness has depth. It has cost. Kindness means speaking hard truths, holding you accountable, standing by you when it's inconvenient. Niceness? Niceness just wants to be liked. It doesn't care about your soul, only about its own reflection. You start to feel like you're going mad around them, because they never technically do anything wrong. They're so nice, everyone says. So lovely. And yet your gut twists when they walk into the room. You shrink. You second-guess yourself. You wonder why you're so tired when they leave. Because you are trying to translate a performance into sincerity. But their niceness is theater. They don't love you. They love what loving you makes them look like. They will not hold your hand in the dark. They will not sit with you in your grief. But they'll send a cheerful emoji and expect applause. This is the danger. Because when cruelty is loud, you know where to place your armor. But when cruelty is polite, when manipulation is soft-spoken, you let it in. You trust it. And by the time you realize what it's done, you're already bleeding. Here's how it happens. You say no, and suddenly you're the problem. You ask for space, and their smile becomes tighter, less warm. You feel the shift, but no one else sees it. That's how nice people punish you. Not with rage, not with fists, with guilt. They don't shout. They sigh. They don't accuse. They disappoint. And somehow that's worse, because you find yourself apologizing for drawing a boundary, explaining yourself for not answering every call, feeling selfish, for needing rest. They don't demand anything, but their silence, their tone, their carefully chosen pauses, they make you feel like you've failed them for doing what's right for you. This is their genius. They never look like the villain. In fact, they play the victim beautifully. They cry when you confront them. They say, "I was just trying to help." They whisper, "I never expected this from you." And now you are on trial. You, who gave and gave and gave, now accused of being cruel, for no longer being convenient. You see, the truly dangerous ones don't steal from you directly. They hand you the knife and say, "Please, if you really love me, you'd cut yourself." And you do, because you were raised to be good, to be generous, to never upset someone who means well. But here's the truth. Not everyone who smiles at you is safe. Not every well-meaning person means you well. Some people carry their malice like perfume, invisible, subtle. But it lingers. It seeps into your lungs until you're coughing up your peace, and you don't even know why. And when you finally leave, when you finally stop playing the game, they'll tell the world you changed. They'll say, "I was always good to them." They'll weep about how cold you became. But they will never admit how much they drained you. Because they never wanted you. They wanted the version of you who never said enough. You believed you were safe. Their smile was warm, their words gentle. They remembered your birthday, laughed at your jokes, offered a shoulder when you cried. But safety is not always found in smiles. Sometimes it's hidden in the silence between words, in the spaces where truth should reside. They listened, nodded, and agreed. But their agreement was a mirror, reflecting only what you wanted to see. You mistook their compliance for understanding, their politeness for care. But beneath the surface, there was calculation. Each compliment, each gesture, was a thread in a web, designed not to support you, but to ensnare you. You shared your dreams, your fears, your past. They listened, not to empathize, but to gather ammunition. In moments of vulnerability, they offered comfort, only to later use your words as weapons. They knew your triggers, your insecurities, your wounds, and they pressed them gently under the guise of concern. You began to question yourself. Were you overreacting? Too sensitive? Misunderstanding? They never raised their voice, never uttered a harsh word. But their silence screamed, their indifference cut deeper than any insult. You found yourself walking on eggshells, analyzing every interaction, doubting your perceptions. Because they were nice, and nice people don't hurt others. Do they? But niceness is not kindness. Kindness is rooted in empathy, in genuine care. Niceness can be a mask, a performance, a tool, a means to an end. They created a facade, a sanctuary that felt safe. But it was an illusion, a mirage that vanished when you needed it most. When you stumbled, they were absent. When you succeeded, they were envious. When you needed honesty, they offered platitudes. Their support was conditional, their presence transactional. You were valuable when you were useful, lovable when you were compliant. And when you deviated from their script, they withdrew, leaving you in the cold, questioning your worth. But understand this, their behavior is a reflection of them, not you. Their inability to offer genuine support speaks to their limitations, not your value. You are not too much. You are not too sensitive. You are not unworthy. You are human, deserving of love that is real, support that is unwavering, and relationships that are rooted in truth. It's time to remove the mask, to see beyond the niceness, to recognize the manipulation, to reclaim your narrative. Because you deserve more than a performance. You deserve authenticity. You deserve kindness. You deserve peace. You stand before the mirror, searching for answers. The reflection staring back is familiar, yet foreign. You question how you arrived here, entangled in a web of manipulation and deceit. The answer lies not in the mirror, but within. You were taught to be kind, to be accommodating, to prioritize others, but in doing so, you neglected yourself. You silenced your voice, dimmed your light, and allowed others to dictate your worth. It's time to reclaim your narrative. To understand that your value is not determined by how much you give, but by who you are. You are not a vessel for others to fill and empty at will. You are a being of depth, deserving of respect, love, and authenticity. Recognize the patterns that led you here. The subtle manipulations, the conditional affections, the performative niceties. Acknowledge them, not to dwell in pain, but to learn, to grow, to heal. Forgive yourself for the times you stayed silent, for the moments you compromised your truth. They were lessons, not failures. Embrace the strength that comes from vulnerability, the courage that arises from self-awareness. Set boundaries, not as walls to keep others out, but as gates to protect your peace. Seek relationships that honor your essence, that celebrate your authenticity. Remember, it's not your responsibility to fix others, to carry their burdens, to be their savior. Your responsibility is to yourself, to nurture your soul, to honor your journey, to live your truth. And if you ever forget who you are, look again. Not through their eyes, not through guilt, not through the twisted reflection of manipulation. Look with compassion, because the person staring back is not weak, not foolish, not broken. That person is a survivor of quiet wars, a witness to invisible cruelty. And still, that person stands. You may have lost time, but you didn't lose yourself. You're still here. And now you begin again, this time with your eyes open and your heart intact. You wake up one day, and something feels different. There is no scream, no final straw, no dramatic declaration of war. Just a silence, not the one they used to punish you, but your own silence, one that feels clean, peaceful, whole. That is how liberation begins. Not in thunder, but in clarity. You realize they never truly loved you. They loved your usefulness, your silence, your guilt. They loved the version of you that bent instead of broke, that whispered instead of roared. They wore kindness like a mask. You wore wounds like makeup. And somewhere in that quiet war between appearances and reality, you forgot how to breathe without permission. But now, you remember. Because the moment you stop chasing their approval, the spell breaks, the air shifts, the fog lifts. You see, emotional manipulation doesn't always come with bruises. Sometimes it comes with flowers, smiles, and I'm just concerned. It doesn't scream at you. It convinces you that you're the problem, that your needs are too much, that your memories are faulty, that your voice is dangerous, that your boundaries are betrayal. And for a long time, you believed them. Because nice people don't lie. Nice people don't manipulate. Nice people don't hurt you, right? But nice is not the same as good. Nice can be a costume. Goodness is rooted in truth, in empathy, in accountability. They wanted your compliance, not your growth. Because growth threatens control, healing exposes harm, and your awakening disrupts their performance. So when you finally began to say that's not okay, I won't accept this anymore. I deserve better. They didn't celebrate you, they panicked. Because manipulators don't fear confrontation. They fear clarity. They fear someone who can see through the velvet. And now, you see? You see that their version of love was never love. It was possession dressed as devotion. It was control painted with politeness. You see how often you made yourself small, palatable, digestible, just to keep the peace. How many times you swallowed your voice like a bitter pill, just to avoid making them uncomfortable. But discomfort is the soil of transformation. And today, you choose discomfort. Not because you enjoy pain, but because you refuse to live a lie. You choose truth, even when it trembles. You choose freedom, even when it feels lonely. You choose peace, even when your old life screams for your return. And in doing so, you become dangerous, not to the world, but to illusions. Because you are no longer easy to deceive, no longer easy to guilt, no longer easy to bend. You have stepped out of the puppet show, cut the strings, burned the script. And now, you write your own. You write it in your tone, your rhythm, your truth. No more rehearsing lines that please the crowd. No more softening your edges to earn their applause. You're not a performance. You're a person. And you're not here to be consumed. You are here to be seen. So let them call you cold. Let them call you distant. Let them call you changed. Because you are. You are colder to manipulation. You are distant from dysfunction. You are changed into someone who finally belongs to themselves. And that is liberation. There is a sacred moment in every person's life, a moment when you stop running, when you stop begging, when you stop proving, and you return. Not to them, not to the version of you they wanted, but to yourself. That child who once knew how to say no without guilt. That soul who used to dream loudly and love without fear. That voice you buried just to keep the peace. You return to that. And when you do, you will not be loud. You will not seek revenge. You will not need to explain. Your peace will speak louder than your rage ever could. Because the real victory is not getting even. It's getting free. The real power is not making them see what they did. It's seeing yourself clearly again. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not too much. You were simply misplaced, in hands that could never hold you properly. So now you hold yourself, with grace, with reverence, with the same loyalty you once gave away too easily. And in that stillness, in that quiet return, you will remember, the most dangerous kind of person is always nice, but the most powerful kind of person is always true. So be true, and never apologize for it again.